Good evening, YouTube. Good evening, Mrs. Dawn here. Welcoming you back for another movie night review tonight, number 307, called The Dust Files International Films. All right, so this is Sci Fi channel, the Sci Fi channel Dust, and their Dust Files called International Films it's a file that lasts about 45 minutes long. But let's get into the movie night review right now. All right, so there are three films in one, the international ones. All right, so the first one is called Campers, and it's like a surreal love story. And what happens is there is a love story going on, but there is some stuff going on with this person, and he has like a flesh eating something, and it connects with one of the females in the camp lodge. They start to become entangled with one another, but also what that flesh stuff is too. And it's kind of gross. At the end of the movie, you'll recognize that you don't really recognize him and her. You just recognize the stuff that's on his skin. But Campers, it's fast paced. I can say that it's okay if you like gross stuff, but literally it's too much. All right. It's just too much. Now, the second file is called The Masseuse. The Masseuse is an Asian film, all right, and what's happening is that the droids, he is at a crossroad with the droid that he is romantically becoming closer with. It is an outdated droid, though, and his father, his hatred and abusiveness about it. All right. So he's in the mix there. He's in a cross triangle thing. And so what happens is that he falls in love with her, or she falls in love with him. But he goes to updating her technology. They go on a ride together. He takes her away from the area, but somehow he goes indebted with his father's mission is to never be entangled with outdated droids, or any droid of that matter. He tries to get away with her. She falls in love with him hard. They're in a train. Then he plays a game with her where she closes her eyes, but when she goes to opening them, her eyes, he's gone. And when she walks towards the entranceway, but she's still on the train, he's not there. He shows her, but when the train leaves, he blows the train up. This is very magnificent because nothing would have said that was going to happen. He mends with his father for a moment, and none of that droid stuff is happening. That falling in love stuff is happening. But to be honest, it is so crucial. It's really like mean almost. All right. So the third film on here is called The Run. All right. So there's a guy, and he wants to update his subconscious and consciousness on an app and exchange out how he can be with a girl and some other stuff that's going on with his father. But all in all, he's in crossroads also, with love. He loves one, but the other one is what the thing is, and he likes that the most, which is love. So he really doesn't want to be with the one he's with. And he has to explain to the administrator that he's ready and that he's not as confused, but he is somewhat eager, and eagerness takes him to another level of to his mission, it looks like they turned him into a hologram. And he tries to explain he still has feelings and pain, but it looks like they turned him into that, and he has to get back in some way or not recognize that that happened. They took his life in some way where he wanted to do it again. So again, sci-fi or AI or technology has outwitted the person, and in that instance, a whole heck of a lot. All right. So on these three films, the international films, you'll recognize that they take place in other areas. There is no transcript, but there is captions, English captions, of course, so you can see what's going on in the English language. All right. So today's subject is called fraternization. Now, fraternization doesn't only get you back to the front, but it gets everybody back to the mission that's supposed to be. Nobody is recognizing you. Nobody is trying to heal you. They're just trying to understand you a little better than the masseuse, the run, and campers. They're trying to understand why you think to think on that level. It'll stop the ones up front. It'll say, without lying too much, that the ones in the back are doing, but they shouldn't really be in the back ever. But there's ones in the back, and they will be blamed for a whole lot until the generation is just what it's supposed to be, until it levels out to no mists of you that say that nobody should be in a romantic way. Once people are in a romantic way, fraternization will blame every single individual, including the leaders, until everybody is just everybody, and the whole cycle repeats itself, but without you. So, all in all, when there are people who don't listen, when there are people who don't really give a damn, and when there are people who are just pretty much fed up with everything about you, fraternization will get rid of every single facet of that ability for someone to come up and walk up and say, you're just too darn smart for your own good. Good night.